Yeah, yeah, brilliant. I mean, now you've been released from TNA and all, we can totally spend more time in my house. And yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of do. I'll call you back. Hello and welcome to Ben's video blog number 2, and I'm gonna bring you a couple more questions today. But before we get on to that, I got a couple of shout outs to do. So a shout out to Big Adam, Joey, Dean, Tony, Dino, Shani, Tim, Captain, Yannick, Dan, Michael, fuck I keep getting that wrong, AA, Mark, BT, Nolene, John, Casey, Cole, Harry, Oridan, and Jigsaw. Also got a couple of hashtag shouts for you today. Hashtag Dicky and hashtag Pray for Joey. Anyway, we're going to get on to the questions now, and it's not like I have to read off a list for any of that because I can totally remember everyone's names and everything because I'm that cool, I don't need any lists, me. So, I'm going to get on to the questions. The first question I had today was from Cole, and Cole was asking me, why do you love Cole so much? What is your favourite thing about Cole? Why is Cole so damn sexy? Why do you wish you were Cole? And why is Cole such an asshole? I don't know, I got nothing. But Cole, thank you for asking those questions anyway. They were very much appreciated. I mean, out of all of them, I could probably tell you why Cole's an asshole, but no, just kidding. Um, so we're going to get on to the questions from today. I had one off Tony Johnson. Big shout out to you, my mucker. I know I hold the key to your heart, but I don't know why. Well, I'll tell you why you hold the key to my heart. That is because I love you, brother. And we're getting married August 1st. You've all got to be there, because if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed. You know? Yeah, and yeah, I'm warning you all. Mark, you stay off those beers, kid. You behave yourself. Um, Second question was from Sam Mosby, and it's asking for my thoughts on the recent TNA releases. Well, I've actually just got off the phone to. No, wait, that's not right. Well, to be honest, Taylor Hendricks, uh, that's a different can of worms. That's There's Christian York and Crimson I'm going to start with. There's no way they should have been released. I mean, where is the logic in releasing two guys that have actually got good wrestling skills like Christian York and Crimson, but then keeping Robbie E, who is the biggest turd known to mankind? I've not got an idea how he's been employed for so long. And Rob Terry, the human triangle. I really don't understand the logic in keeping them and releasing two guys like York and Crimson. And then Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan is one of the most talented individuals on the mic for sure, and his wrestling skills are great as well. Why they've released him, I really can't tell you. They've made the wrong budget cuts, put it that way. If that's what they purely are as budget cuts, they've cut the wrong people, in my opinion. And Madison Rain. Madison Rain's absolutely gorgeous. I have no idea why they've released them. They're absolutely out of their mind, if you ask me. Second questions were from Yannick. So you're a football fan just like myself, therefore I thought I'd give you one football question. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season, Champions League, World Cup in Brazil? Which player are you excited about? New team, blah blah. Well, the upcoming season, I really think the Champions League is going to be a lot more intense this year because with Bayern Munich winning it last year and getting to the final the year before that, German football is certainly flourishing again in Europe. So there's going to be a lot of competition, particularly from the English teams this year because there's been big shake-ups. I mean, David Moyes coming into Manchester United, Mourinho coming back to Chelsea. I think a lot of big changes have been happening, and it's going to be a matter of time until an English team wins the Champions League again. As for that being this season, I'm going to make a bold prediction now and go out on a limb and say that Barcelona will win the Champions League again this year. Um, they haven't won it now the last 2 years, 3 years. I think it's going to be their time again this year because Lionel Messi is the most on-form player in the world. And as for which player are you excited about, new team? I'd probably have to say Neymar moving to Barca. That's pretty big, and I just hope that he's not going to be one of those players that can only do it in Brazil. It would be really good to see him sort of come into his own in Barcelona, so that'd be pretty cool. Yannick also asks, who in the indie scene would you like to see get a shot at the WWE or TNA? Well, if I had to just go with somebody off the top of my head, the first name I can think of is Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is a two-sided coin to some people. Some people think he's great and love what he do, which I do myself personally. A lot of people are not too fussed on him because, but I personally would love to see Colt Cabana get a shot in WWE or TNA because he's very entertaining. I mean, if you watch some of his stuff in Shakira and just other indie promotions, what Colt Cabana does is very good. And obviously, he's another Chicago guy like CM Punk. I really, really want to see Colt Cabana in either WWE or TNA. Scarlett Bordeaux said no when I asked her about a bunk up. What should I do? Go for Crimson or Shane Hollister now? Well, I'd say go for Crimson. He's just been released. He's probably going to be looking for something to do. Give it a try. But then on the other hand, Shane Hollister, he's a pretty talented guy. So I'm gonna say Shane Hollister. Go for Shane Hollister. Let me know how you get on with that one. If not, then go for Crimson. Next questions were from Nolene, my Northern Irish Caprende. Why am I the best of all these bitches? Well, that's slightly egotistical, isn't it? No, why are you the best of all these bitches? I think it's a bit harsh that you're calling them bitches to begin with. But if I had to identify one reason why you were the best, that would probably be because you don't give a damn about what you say or who to. And you're pretty straightforward talking. It's about as much as I got to say on that. Sting coming back to WWE. To the best of my knowledge, he's never been in WWE. But as for him coming to WWE, I would love to see it. I've always admired that Sting has never gone to WWE. He's probably the biggest name never to wrestle for Vince McMahon. But I'd really like to see him come into WWE because obviously the dream feud really is Sting Undertaker. And I mean, if they were to pull that off at WrestleMania 30, that would be huge. But overall, Sting coming to WWE, that is definitely something that I would like to see. Mark Henry, should he be the new champion? Yes. Outright, no question about it, yes. I'd love to see Mark Henry as the WWE champion. Obviously, if you do actually listen to me moan all the time, I was making a big fuss about it, that it shouldn't be Ryback, that Ryback is boring. Um, so Mark Henry coming in to challenge Cena next, that was very refreshing. And I thought the angle where he pretended to retire, because we're a bunch of puppets. I really, really like that. And I think Henry, as WWE champion, he could have a good run because he was on about retiring a couple of years ago. So I think this could be one last hurrah for him before he hangs up his boots for real. So definitely Mark Henry is the WWE champion. That's something I would like to see. And 5 points on how TNA should aim to improve. Okay, number one, re-sign Taylor Hendricks. Nobody from TNA is going to say this, but I'm going to shout at my webcam anyway. Re-sign Taylor Hendricks. That's your first point to improve on. My second point I'd say that I have to improve on has got to be stop with stables running the show. Main Event Mafia, that was cool and original. Immortal, we're doing this again. Aces and eights, I've lost all interest. The idea that they keep having factions slash stables running the show, it's repetitive, it's old. If they kill that out and just at least give it a break until they try it again. I mean, WWE have done it twice with the Nexus and the Shield recently, and it's worked. It's worked because I thought that it was different, and the Nexus was 8 people, rookies, and it was unseen. You didn't see it come in, and the Shield, the way they come into it was brilliant, and they're only a 3-man group, and a lot of people will argue back and forth about Shield and Nexus. So no, I'd say definitely point number two would be to kill the stables and factions running the show. Point number three, I love Hulk Hogan, but it would be to give him less creative control. I mean, I don't know if the idea to have X Division matches all being triple threats was actually the idea that he pitched legitimately. But if it was, that's such a shit idea because some of the best X Division matches in recent memory have been, fatal four-ways, triple threats, tag team matches, singles matches. Even you can't just specifically condense them to being triple threats all the time. I mean, it's a good idea, but realistically, I don't think it's going to work. So I'd say for point number three, to scrap triple threat only X Division matches. Point number four. Well, I know I'm repeating point number one really, but it would be to re-sign Crimson. Crimson was great, particularly when he had his undefeated run, which lasted over a year. I think it was close on 400 days. And the way they worked that brilliantly with James Storm's return, defeating him, that was great. And then Crimson kind of fizzled out and became irrelevant. which was a really stupid move in my opinion because Crimson is really underrated. So on to point number 5, sack Dixie Carter. I don't like Dixie Carter. To begin with, her ideals and logics were great, and as time has gone on and Eric Bischoff has been in one year and Hulk Hogan in the other year, what she's doing isn't that great anymore. So how they could improve would be to scrap Dixie Carter. Okay, thank you, Nolene. They were great questions, by the way. Captain 2. I like the way you named yourself Captain 2, by the way, because I mean, obviously, I'm Captain number 1. No, I'm just kidding. Why isn't my guy world champion and such? You smart ass bugger. How would it feel? How does it feel to be in charge of the biggest E-Fed? Well, I think it's only a matter of time that I'm in charge of the biggest E-Fed. I mean, at the moment, NIWA is at a really good start, and thank you for all you guys for participating in it. I mean, I really hope we can do great things with it. But 3XW coming back already is taking off. It's going to be great, and it's going to catch up NIWA in no time as far as that goes. And then Adam Carson has just started PWF. That too as well. I think that's going to do great. I mean, Oblivion killed a guy. Do I need to say any more? And XWX now under new management by Tony. People need to get more active in that, and I'm saying that to all of you. I need to myself as well. So a suggestion for everyone: pitch in more with XWX, because some of the ideas that Dean and Tony are working on with that are great ideas, and I'd really encourage people to be more active on there. And going out to the store, do you want anything? Yeah, you can get me a pack of cigarettes, pick up some bourbon as well. We'll have a few. And I think we're all out of roast potatoes, so you might want to pick up some roast potatoes too. Thank you for those, Cap. Ben Wait, emphatically from Joey. And then Dino pitched in with, how amazing was last night's chat? Last night's chat was absolutely incredible. For anybody that wasn't there, we had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, we had politicians, we had all sorts. Steve Wilco was there, Jerry Springer was there. The Three Stooges were born: Stooge Oblivion, Stooge Carson, and Stooge D.T. Raymond. Who makes this stuff up? We need a writer for the chat box. I'm going to pitch that to Michael when he comes back. That's what we're going to do. Who is the Iron Sheik? This is what I ask you, my OWU family. Who is the Iron Sheik? Please leave your comment on who you think the Iron Sheik is, and hopefully by the time we got my next vlog video, I can tell you who it is. On to the last few questions that I had. They were from Joey after his emphatic intervention with Ben Wait. Joey's asking me, we all know your favourite wrestler is William Regal, but why exactly is that? Well, first of all, it's William Regal's wrestling style. Technical wrestling is so underrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not as fancy as high flying with Rey Mysterio jumping off things, and then it's not as perhaps impressive looking as power wrestling like Batista and Triple H and all that idea and Cena. But technical wrestling for me, it's the origins of wrestling, and William Regal is a craftsman that is king of his craft. The idea that you pick on a body part, work it through for 10 minutes in a match, most people will get bored at that point and fast forward, but it fascinates me, his way of doing it. That's why he's my favourite wrestler in that respect. Then there's his character. William Regal's character is, I could commend on so many levels. The fact that he was the first man to put his lips on Vince McMahon's ass is totally disgusting, but it shows one hell of a lot of commitment to that company. And his character has always been extremely, extremely entertaining for so many different reasons. One of those would have to be the fact that he's never afraid to take on the role of the snotty bad guy. And if you watched any interviews with William Regal off the screen, it's completely not him at all, but he sells it so well on screen that you would actually believe that that is what he's like in real life. William Regal, the only man that can look down on you while looking up. Yeah, so that William Regal is my favourite wrestler, and that is probably why. Read his book too, another plug. What is your favourite television show and why? Well, apart from the obvious Monday Night Raw, I'd probably have to say either The Walking Dead or Lie to Me. Lie to Me with Tim Roth. I thought the idea that they investigated like facial expressions when you're lying, like looking up to the left or something like that. The Walking Dead is zombies, it's blood, it's guts, and it's always thrilling that there's this idea that the world has ended, there's no communication anymore. So yeah, other than Raw, my favourite shows would have to be The Walking Dead or Lie to Me. My favourite golfer is Retief Goosen, South African golf player. Retief Goosen was struck by lightning as a child, yet this remarkable man still continues to play with a metal object in his hand. Yeah, that takes a lot of bravery if you ask me, and I'm also a big fan of his lob wedge shots. The man with the lob wedge is an absolute genius. His precision is next to none. So Retief Goosen for me is going to be my favourite golfer. Favourite tennis player is actually at the moment, I'd say Fernando Verdasco. And even though I'm British, I wanted him to beat Andy Murray yesterday. Kind of bad, but you know. So Fernando Verdasco is going to be my favourite tennis player. But of all time, it has got to be, without shadow of a doubt, Martina Navratilova. She's just a boss in general. So yeah, that's my favourite tennis player. And also, just because I've been answering this for Joey, we as bitches, 2K17 in the mix, Pond Life, and all that malarkey. So yeah, I do believe that is every question I was covered to ask. I'm just going to refresh the page once more for you guys in case anybody has asked any last minute questions. No, and so that's where I'll type. Oh no, actually, Dino asked me on the NIWA thread to give details on the vicious murder when Oblivion killed a guy. Well, I don't actually know why he did it, but Oblivion is my alter ego. So like me, I'm friendly and bubbly and quite crazy, but Oblivion is dark and will commit unthinkable crimes. I'm just quoting Kane's promo on Raw on Monday. Anyway, guys, this has been my second video blog, so a shout out to you all. Thank you for all your posts and everything else, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get up vlog number 3. So thank you again for your participation, and I can't really see what I'm doing. So shout out to Daniel Bryan, and that's all I got for today. I've pretty much run all my creative juices into the ground. So again, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. All my love. Oblivion.